6 months ago, we unleashed an economic miracle by signing the biggest tax cuts and reforms. I have to add the word reform, very important word, but the tax cuts is what got us there, and that's what's really doing it. The biggest tax cuts in American history. Now it's my great honor to welcome you back to the White House to celebrate 6 months of new jobs, bigger paychecks, and keeping more of your hard-earned money where it belongs, in your pocket or wherever else you want to spend it. Before going any further, I'd like to address the horrific shooting that took place yesterday at Capital Gazette newsroom in Annapolis, Maryland. This attack shocked the conscience of our nation and filled our hearts with grief. Journalists, like all Americans, should be free from the fear of being violently attacked while doing their job. To the families of the victims, there are no words to express our sorrow for your loss. Horrible, horrible event, horrible thing happened. And you're suffering. We pledge our eternal support. This suffering is so great. I've seen some of the people, so great. My government will not rest until we have done everything in our power to reduce violent crime and to protect innocent life. We will not ever leave your side, so our warmest, best wishes and regrets. Horrific, horrible thing. Thank you. Thank you. For today's event, we're honored to be joined by our great Vice President, Mike Pence. Stand up. Yeah. Also joining us are Secretary Stephen Mnuchin, who's been keeping very busy lately. Steve. Secretary Wilbur Ross. Wilbur. Secretary Alex Acosta just came up with a great health care plan. Thank you, Alex. Great health care plan. People are really liking it. Association. Sonny Perdue, the great Secretary of Agriculture. Small Business Administrator Linda McMahon is doing an incredible job. Director Mick Mulvaney. And Treasurer Jovita Carranza. Jovita, thank you. Thanks also to a really great friend of mine, Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant, and all of the other state, local, federal officials that have done so much to help us with this incredible tax cut and job plan. You see how it's working. Although I have to say, I think that the cutting of regulations maybe had just as big an impact. I don't want to say this to you, but I think the cutting of regulations had just as big an impact. I also want to welcome Juanita Dugan, Kay Coles-James, Karen Kerrigan, and Michael Bellerman for helping us. Your support has been incredible in getting this very difficult legislation to the finish line and pass. Please stand up. Stand up. What a team. Great team. Great team. Thank you very much. And there are so many others in the room. You know, you're never going to speak to me again. But we're not going to give any more names, right? Let's get down to business. Other than these names, who are the important ones, okay? We're also especially proud of the Republican members of Congress who fought. I mean, they fought with us. We didn't get a Democrat vote. We didn't get one vote for these massive tax cuts. So I want to thank Roger Wicker, Representative Diane Black, Kevin Brady. What a warrior, Kevin. Kevin, come on. Stand up, Kevin. Come on. Mike Kelly, my friend, and Jason Smith, our great Republican members of Congress, worked night and day to score this landmark victory. This really was a landmark victory for their constituents, but much more importantly for the country. Unfortunately, every single Democrat in the House and Senate, that's right, every single one voted against lower taxes for the hard-working Americans. And you see what's happened. It's turned out to be something very special. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act slashed income taxes all across the board. We nearly doubled the standard deduction and did double the child tax credit, which Ivanka wanted very much. I will tell you. Stand up, Ivanka. Stand up, honey. Whoa. She got a bigger hand than the politicians. You better be careful. That means you're all in trouble. The typical family of four earning $75,000 will see an income tax cut of more than $2,000, and in some cases more, slashing their tax bill in half. We cut taxes for businesses of all sizes to make this the best place on earth to start a business, to invest. We have billions and billions of dollars of additional revenue coming in. We lowered the corporate tax rate so the American worker finally has a level playing field. We allowed companies to deduct every single penny of investment in new equipment, and it's called expensing. It's the biggest secret in the plan. I think it'll go down as maybe the most important element. It's 1 year expensing. Nobody thought we'd ever see that. So incredible for starting up a business or running a business. We greatly reduced the burden of the unfair estate tax, commonly known as the death tax. You know, that's such a big thing, and most farms and most small business will not pay any estate tax or death tax anymore. Such a big thing. We created opportunity zones to promote more jobs in low-income communities. We opened Anwar. That's a big one. We opened up Anwar. That was one that they said no president could get it for many years. I wasn't going to do it because I was angry at someone. I said, I'm not going to do it. And then when I heard that Ronald Reagan couldn't do it, nobody could do it, they've been trying for 50 years, I said, oh, let's do that immediately. It's like a challenge, right? Challenge. And they've started that process. It's going to be something, one of the biggest in the world. We also repealed, in our tax cut plan, we repealed the most, I guess you could say, unpopular thing I've seen in a long time in politics or in legislation, the individual mandate on Obamacare. The individual mandate. How about that one? That's not a very good one. That's where you have the privilege of paying a fortune in order to not pay to have bad health care. Think of that. So in other words, you pay a lot of money not to have health care. So it's not working too good. We got rid of it. That's a big thing. We got no credit, but that's okay. That's okay. I've had some people come up to me, they say they like that as much as the tax cuts. That was a big thing. And Obamacare is just about over. We have come up with so many plans, and we have a plan coming out, an additional plan, Secretary Azar, coming out in a very short period of time, which is going to be, I think it's going to perhaps match your plan from Department of Labor. It's going to be something very special. 6 months after our tax cuts, more than 6 million workers have received bonuses, pay raises, and retirement account contributions. And one of the beautiful elements of what I do, I love to see happy faces, but I'll stand on line sometimes before or after a speech, and I'll be with a lot of people that want pictures for whatever reason they want a picture of me. And I stand with the police a lot, and I'll see a policeman. and in particular one in New York City. And he said, "Sir, I want to thank you. You've made me a hero to my wife and to my family. I've always been a horrible investor. But this year, my 401k, think of it, is up like 46%, I think he said. My wife thinks I'm a genius. She thinks I'm the greatest investor for the first time in my life." And you know, in terms of value or worth, we've created $7 trillion worth of value for our country. And people don't know this. We're double the size, almost double the size, because we hear China, and China's terrific. And our relationship is terrific. We're straightening out the balance, and I think most people want to see that. But we're the largest economy in the world by far. And as you know, we've increased a lot over the last 1.5 years. But we're almost double the size of China and far bigger than anybody else. And we're going up very rapidly, and it's going to continue to go up very rapidly.